$25 million gone in one day. A finance worker walks into a video call. His CFO is there. So are a dozen of his colleagues. Familiar faces, familiar voices. The same people he's worked with for years. He sends them $25 million. Every single person on that call was fake.
Not fake like a bad Photoshop. Fake like AI-generated, indistinguishable from reality fake. And by the time anyone realized what happened, the money was already gone, split across 15 transfers into 5 different bank accounts, scattered before lunch.
This is the story of how it happened, step by step. The email, the call, the moment the trap closed. And later, I'll take you somewhere most people never see. The underground market where this exact technology is bought and sold for less than your Netflix subscription. Stick around to the end. I'll also show you exactly how to protect yourself and the people you love from becoming the next headline. But first, let's go back to January 2024 and watch this thing unfold in real time. The company is Arup. If you don't know the name, you know the work. This is the engineering firm behind the Sydney Opera House's structural design. The firm behind Beijing's Bird's Nest Stadium. 18,000 employees, 34 offices, 100 years of reputation. Which makes it the perfect target. Big enough to move large sums without blinking. Global enough that a London CFO messaging a Hong Kong office wouldn't raise an eyebrow. And, critically, public enough that its executives had years of video footage sitting online, conference talks, investor calls, interviews, all free, all waiting.
The attackers didn't need to breach Arup's network. They needed something much simpler: patience and a search bar.
Before a single email was sent, the groundwork was already done. The attackers studied Arup's structure, who the CFO was, which office controlled large transfers, who had the authority to move money without a second signature. They studied how the executives wrote, their tone, their phrasing, the particular way a UK-based finance chief signs off an urgent message.
And they gathered faces, recorded talks, panel discussions, recruitment videos, old webinar recordings, anything with the CFO's face and voice on it. They pulled. Every public appearance an executive makes is, whether anyone realizes it or not, training data.
By the time they were ready to strike, they weren't guessing. They knew exactly who to target, exactly what to say, and exactly what their target's real boss looked and sounded like.
Mid-January 2024. A finance employee in Arup's Hong Kong office opens his inbox. There's a message. It appears to be from the company's UK-based chief financial officer. The tone is measured but urgent. There's a secret transaction that needs to be handled. Confidentially, quickly.
Here's what's important. The employee wasn't reckless. He was suspicious. The request was strange enough that his instincts pushed back. This wasn't a case of someone clicking blindly on a phishing link. This was a trained, alert employee doing exactly what security training tells you to do.
And the attackers had already planned for that. When written words fail to convince someone, the next move in the playbook is always the same. Escalate to something harder to doubt. A voice, a face,
So they didn't argue over email. They invited him to a meeting.
He joins the video conference, and the screen fills with familiar faces. The CFO, several other colleagues from within the company, the same people he'd sat across from in real meetings more than once. They looked right. They sounded right.
They used the internal language, the shorthand, the tone of people who actually worked there. It wasn't one fake person trying to convince him. It was a room full of them, nodding along, backing each other up, treating the request as routine business.
In a group setting, that kind of apparent consensus is enormously persuasive. One suspicious voice is easy to doubt. An entire virtual boardroom, agreeing with itself, is not.
Hong Kong police later described exactly what made this case different from anything they'd seen before. Acting Senior Superintendent Baron Chan put it in 6 words: "Everyone you see is fake." On that call, step by step, the fake CFO walked the employee through the transaction. Break the total into smaller pieces.
Initiate the transfer.
Send it here, then here, then here. Standard-looking instructions delivered by a face he trusted.
15 transfers, 5 separate Hong Kong bank accounts, 200 million Hong Kong dollars, about 25 million US dollars, moved out in a single day.
No alarms went off. No security system flagged it, because nothing had actually been hacked. A real employee, using his own real login, was simply doing what he believed his real boss had asked him to do.
Quick pause. If this is the first time you're hearing that a scam like this is even possible, hit subscribe now, because it's about to get darker.
Initiate
And
the
if you
transfer.
know someone who handles money for a living, a bookkeeper, an accountant, a small business owner, send them this video. We'll come back to exactly how to protect against this later. For now, let's keep going. The fraud wasn't caught during the call. It wasn't caught that day at all. It surfaced only when the employee later followed up with Arup's real headquarters, checking in on the secret transaction he'd helped carry out. And headquarters had no idea what he was talking about. No such meeting, no such instruction, no such CFO request. By the time the truth landed, the money had already scattered across 5 accounts, and most likely out of reach.
Arup reported the incident to Hong Kong police in late January. Police went public with the case in February without naming the company. It took until May and reporting from the Financial Times and CNN before the world learned it was Arup.
The company's chief information officer, Rob Greig, made a point of correcting the record on what actually happened. None of our systems were compromised, and there was no data affected.
This wasn't a hack in any traditional sense. He had a name for it instead: technology-enhanced social engineering. The systems worked exactly as they were built to. It was trust itself that got exploited.
As of the most recent reporting, no arrests have been made. None of the $25 million has ever been recovered.
Arup wasn't alone, and it wasn't even the only near target that year. Just weeks before Arup's name became public, the CEO of WPP, the largest advertising company on Earth, was targeted the exact same way. Scammers built a fake WhatsApp account using a public photo of CEO Mark Reed, used it to set up a Microsoft Teams meeting, and deployed an AI voice clone and scraped YouTube footage to imitate him during the call.
That one failed. WPP's staff caught the inconsistencies before any money moved. Same playbook, same tools, different outcome. because someone paused enough to notice something was off.
That's the line between a 9-figure headline and a story that never gets told. A few seconds of hesitation.
If you're not subscribed yet, now's the moment, because what's coming next is the part that should genuinely unsettle you. This isn't some secret government-level technology. It's for sale. Right now. Cheap. Let's go there.
Here's the part of this story that should actually scare you. Because Arup wasn't a rare elite operation. This technology isn't rare anymore. It's a commodity. On dark web marketplaces today, a synthetic identity kit, an AI-generated face, a cloned voice sample, fabricated supporting documents, sells for around $5. An uncensored dark AI model built specifically for running scams costs about $30 a month, less than a streaming subscription.
Some vendors go further, offering full-service packages. A human operator will personally get a deepfaked face past a bank's identity verification for you, for somewhere between $100 and $500 per successful attempt. One cybersecurity research firm summed it up like this: AI has become the plumbing of modern cybercrime, quietly turning skills that used to take years of specialized training into something anyone can rent with a credit card and a Telegram account.
The numbers back it up. Mentions of AI fraud tools across dark web forums have grown over 300% since 2019. Deepfake-driven identity fraud attempts surged more than 3,000% in a single year.
One fraud intelligence firm tracked over $300 million in confirmed deepfake losses in a single quarter alone.
Initiate the
This
transfer.
isn't a fringe threat. It's an industry, complete with tutorials, customer support, and subscription pricing.
And it's not all one-sided. Some of the newest identity checks, the ones that scan a live video feed for blood flow and micro-muscle movement, are actually holding up.
One frustrated scammer on a dark web forum, quoted in a fraud research report, put it bluntly: there is no bypass. Some have reportedly resorted to wearing latex masks to try and beat the cameras. It hasn't worked. So, the technology is racing forward on both sides. The only question is, which side gets to you first?
So, how do you actually protect yourself from something like this? It comes down to a small number of habits, and every one of them would have stopped Arup cold.
The callback rule. Never verify an urgent request through the same channel it arrived on. An email asking for a transfer? Call a known, saved number, not one from the email. A video call asking for money? Hang up and call the person back yourself.
A safe word. Agree on one with your family and your business partners, something nobody outside that relationship would know. If someone calls in a panic claiming to be a relative or a boss or a colleague, ask for the word.
Slow down on purpose. Urgency plus secrecy is the tell almost every time. Don't tell anyone, and "we need this now" together should be a 5-alarm signal to pause. Split the approval. No one person, no matter how convinced they are, should be able to move large sums alone. A second signature is the one thing a deepfake cannot talk its way around. Mind your own footage. Every video of you online is potential training data for someone else's future scam. You don't need to vanish from the internet. Just know your face and voice are public property now.
$25 million, 15 transfers, 0 hackers. just a very convincing lie.
Initiate the
wearing
transfer.
a familiar face.
Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more of these. And the next time someone on a screen asks you to do something urgent, secret, and expensive, hang up and call them back yourself. Stay sharp.